We didn't get a lot of credit for it.
Republican Congressman Trent Franks of Arizona is in the audience today, and he also serves on the Armed Services and Judiciary Committees. And a good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Alex. It's good to be with you.
I'm curious how you feel in the wake of all this. Are you satisfied by what the president says? Do you think you're going to be able to have a workable future together? Is that what you want?
Well, of course it's what we want. We were promised that early on, Alex, and I know that I'm a Republican here, so anything I say may just seem partisan. But probably the great dichotomy that I have to deal with here is the difference between what the president says and what his policies substantively reflect. And that's the hard part. The president came to us at the beginning of the year last year and said that he wanted to work with us, and yet not only did our policies never get considered or be allowed to vote on the floor, but for a long time this administration has said that the Republican Party is just the party of no, and that they don't have any alternative ideas, and that's just not true. So it's very difficult for me to square the difference between what this president says and what he does. That said, this is a very articulate, well-spoken, eloquent, charismatic person that we have in the White House. Unfortunately, I think if his policies are implemented, it will do great damage to the nation. Okay.
Congressman, with regard to the image of the Republicans being the party of no, here's one potential explanation here. There was criticism offered today by one of your colleagues, Representative Peter Roskin. Let's take a listen to what he said.
House Republicans that sincerely want to come and be a part of this national conversation towards solutions, but they've really been stiff-armed by Speaker Pelosi.
Speak to that. Nancy Pelosi working with the GOP versus the president.
Yeah, there's no question that the point is well taken, that the president can't control what Nancy Pelosi does, but certainly he could have kept his promise on making sure that the health care bill was done before C-SPAN. There are a lot of things that he could have done, but I do recognize the point that Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi were the ones that really shut Republicans completely out of this debate. And I hope that can change in the future. I'm sorry that there weren't more questions on the national security component of the country, because this president's policies, even though I don't think they reflect his heart, his policies are more represent terrorist rights rather than they do protecting American lives. And I think, unfortunately, in the future, we may all wish that we had paid more attention to those issues.
Okay, right now let's get to the issue of jobs, because the president really pushed back on the criticism that he got on the economy, job losses, as he fielded all these questions for the House GOP conference chair, Mike Pence. Listen to this.
Those job losses took place before any stimulus, whether it was the ones that you guys have proposed or the ones that we proposed, could have ever taken into effect. Now, that's just the fact, Mike, and I don't think anybody would dispute that. You could not find an economist who would dispute that.
How about a GOP House member? Dispute that, or is that a fact?
Well, there were job losses before he came in. He's half right, but the reality is the president promised that if we passed this $787 billion stimulus, that it would keep the unemployment rate under 8%, and now it's over 10. And so there's no question that the very economist that he said that he was counting on misread the tea leaves somehow. And I think the people understand that just a lot of government spending, that we can't spend ourselves into prosperity, and it really does come down to jobs, because all of economics, no matter how complex we try to make them, are about productivity of a nation. And this administration really has been doing all kinds of policies that put tremendous burden on this economy. Not only the health care ideas, but the cap and trade, all of those things work against having good jobs.
The debate to be continued, no doubt. Arizona Republican, thank you very much, Trent Franks, for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, President Obama apparently has a newfound relative. The New England Historical Genealogical